Tonight on Mello TV Sports, Women's Tennis Association's focus is to get back on track. Roy Lewis believes that the Windies are prepared for their test series against England. And Barcelona's president believes that Messi will end his career at the club. We start off Mello TV Sports with tennis. Getting players back to work and back to earning is now the focus of the Women's Tennis Association. That's the word from former Jamaica tennis player Brandon Burke, who has been appointed the board of the Women's Tennis Association. Burke's historic appointment becomes effective in September, and he says getting the sport back up and running following the coronavirus shutdown is the priority.
One of the biggest challenges facing women's tennis currently is that WTA players have been without jobs since mid-March. Tennis players are independent contractors, they're not unionized athletes, and what that means is that they lost their jobs virtually overnight, like many other people in the working world did, as a result of COVID-19. That's not the case with many other athletes who are unionized and who have continued to be able to get week-to-week paychecks. And so our efforts on the board right now really surround focusing on trying to see if it's possible to get back to play this year in a fair and safe way.
Now, the WTA is the governing body for the women's game, with more than 1,650 players at the tournament in Palermo, with organizers hopeful of inviting some of the world's best players. Halep has already suggested that she does not plan to play in the US Open, which starts in New York at the end of August. The 28-year-old, however, said she could consider if the pandemic situation improves by the entry deadline in mid-July. We bowl over to cricket news now. Team manager Roy Lewis believes the West Indies are mentally and physically prepared for the challenging three-test series against hosts England, bowling off on Wednesday. The Caribbean side arrived in Southampton on Friday following nearly a month's training at Old Trafford in Manchester, and will put the finishing touches on their preparation over the next few days. Lewis says the squad is in good spirits with no injuries to report. The three tests will mark cricket's first ever biosecure series played without fans at the Aguies Bowl and Old Trafford, with strict social distancing and sanitization protocols enforced due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Following the outbreak earlier this year, cricket across the globe ceased in March, and the upcoming series will be the first taste of action in international competitive cricket since. The West Indies are the current holders of the Wisden Trophy, following their convincing 2-1 victory in the three-test series in the Caribbean last year. However, they have not captured a series on English soil in 32 years and have won just one test in 16 outings there over the last 16 years. On to football news now. The Argentine man Lionel Messi will end his working and football life at Barcelona. That's according to the club's president. Josep Maria Bartomeu dismissed reports the Argentina international was unwilling to renew his contract when it expires next year. Bartomeu was speaking following the Catalan club's 4-1 La Liga win at Villarreal last evening, which saw them close the gap to leaders Real Madrid to 4 points. Earlier, a Sergio Ramos penalty ensured Real edged to a 1-0 victory over Athletic Bilbao. Meanwhile, reports are floating around that Brazilian star Neymar da Silva Jr. has reached an agreement with Paris Saint-Germain to facilitate his departure and return to Barcelona ahead of next season, if and only if the Catalan club can find the means to make it happen. The pact between Neymar and the Parisians was reached after the attempt last summer by Barca to sign him had failed. In return for him staying and giving maximum commitment and involvement until the end of next season, the agreement was to leave had been made. As it stands, with the return of the Champions League awaited and Ligue 1 already concluded, Neymar has played 22 games and scored 18 times and provided 10 assists. Now to end tonight's sports package, we present you with the play of the night. Che Adams' goal for Southampton versus former Premier League champions Manchester City.
Close down, you want them.
And those are the stories making sports news tonight. My name is Christopher Scott. Good evening.
The Mello TV Evening News at 8 was brought to you by the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Reduce your risk of viral illnesses like the flu and coronavirus. Wash your hands frequently with soap and water. Cover your nose and mouth when coughing with a tissue and dispose of it. Avoid close contact with anyone with the cold or flu-like symptoms. If you think you've been exposed to COVID-19, stay home. Self-isolate immediately and call 888-1-LOVE. That's 888-663-5683. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.